Hey guys! Cotton candy lip gloss. Can't go wrong with that. Um, I decided to hop on Facebook Live here, and I'm going to share this on Twitter and YouTube because I just feel like I need to be honest with you. I am not doing well. I have reached a point where politics and losing my job and everything else has come to a point where I'm not coping well. I'm not taking care of myself. I do my politics. The reason I'm all dressed up in this nice little outfit with my background is because I just did a podcast interview, which I'm honored to be asked to do those interviews. But the behind the scenes is I do my Lady Maga stuff. I study for my upcoming job, and then I crawl in bed for hours at a time. And I am severely, severely depressed and broken right now. And I've kind of had to make the decision. As Lady Maga, do I want to emulate Tommy Lauren or, Tucker Carlson or Blair White, these people who present kind of a perfect, polished image at all times? Or do I want to just be completely honest with you guys and share this journey as a broken, imperfect person? So, la vida es bella. Oh, I love that. Thank you for your comment. If I miss your comment, it's because I have a whole list here, and I'm going to try to get through my list to really talk about things. So, I posted on social media, Twitter and Facebook, since I don't have Instagram. Goodbye, 15,000 followers, which hurts every day because Instagram was a wonderful tool. Anthony Bishop, who are you dating? I am not dating anyone. I am divorced, and it's been years, and I choose not to really date because every time I try to go on a date or meet somebody, I realize that they are on the app Grindr on their phone, which is a hookup app, and I'm not going to date anyone who has been promiscuous or shared themselves with a million strangers. I'm better than that, and I deserve someone who shares my morals of monogamy and treating sexuality as something special, not something to be a game. And most of the gay guys that are out there are unfortunately on the app Grindr. So if they're on that app, it shows me that we're not going to be a good match. So where to begin? I really sat down and thought about not doing this live because I know my haters on the left will say, see, the conservatives hate you, that's why you're depressed. And my haters on the right, and there are haters on the right, will say, you're depressed because you're a sinful, you're a sinful drag queen, you're going against nature, you're, a sinner and all this stuff. And I'm like, whatever. So I don't care how somebody uses this. I'm just going to be open with you guys because I don't want to be a fake influencer. I don't want to be a fake, social media user who uses filters for everything and posts everything so great and everything's so great and I'm so cool and I'm so fierce and all that. I'm over the fake world, you guys. The world of TikTok, the world of Instagram filters, the world of, it all started with Facebook. Fakebook. We present this fake image of what's really going on. And I just want to be honest with you guys about what's really going on. And the reason I'm doing this on Facebook is because you guys here on Facebook, I rarely get hatred. I'm rarely insulted. You guys share your love. So I have my list here. Let's go through the list. So August 12th is the 2-year anniversary of releasing Lady Maga USA publicly. I worked on it for 3 months before I released it, but it came out Lady Maga came out publicly on August 12th, 2019. So as I approach my 2-year anniversary, I'm asking myself, what do I have to show for this? I'm kicked off of Instagram. I lost my job at Delta because I stood up for our Constitution and our Second Amendment. It's just been it's kind of been one loss after another. And by the way, the greatest loss in all of this is my family. I have over 47 nieces and nephews, and I have a huge family. And we became divided after my mother's death because I defended a family member who deserved to be defended. And because I was in the enemy's camp, I was rejected. Now, family members have cut me off because you are an internalized homophobe. Really? I'm literally like the most brave drag queen in America. And if I hated myself because I'm gay and I hated what makes me different, I don't think that I would have gone this route. So this is my message to my family, literally. If you see this, you need to have patience, you need to have compassion, and you need to realize that I have literally sacrificed everything to defend your freedoms, to defend the future of your children from the gay men's chorus who says we're coming for your children, to defend your right to be a Christian conservative, to defend your Constitution, your First Amendment, your Second Amendment, and all the people who hate on me. And I'm talking to my family right now. All the people who hate on me have never spoken up publicly about the Constitution. They've never spoken up publicly about President Trump. They've never openly exposed what the LGBTQIA radicalism has done to their family. And I'm here defending their freedoms. I'm here fighting for the Constitution. I've lost everything. Do I get a text message that says, hey, Uncle Ryan, thank you so much for standing up. Thank you so much for being brave. I know you live alone, and I know you have a history of depression and anxiety. I just want to let you know we're here for you. We love you. No, it's quite the opposite. You are an internalized homophobe. You don't support Pride Month. Therefore, you're bad. You defend the Mormon Church. And apparently defending the Mormon Church is a crime in my family. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything more. I'm just going to say, y'all, I know the people who have attacked me and who insult me in my family. And y'all have a husband, y'all have a wife, y'all have your kids, y'all have your nice house. And I'm over here scrubbing toilets, literally scrubbing toilets to make ends meet. Because I stood up for America and your right to keep and bear arms. So I just feel like there's a little level of ingratitude there. And Leah McDaniel, my family fully support you. See, that's what I need to hear. So that's why I'm sharing this on Facebook, because y'all on Facebook, you're my family and I love you. And I'm just disgusted with my own family who has cut me off. You are an internalized homophobe. You are filled with hatred for the LGBTQIA Pride Month agenda. It's been really hard, and I'm trying not to be sarcastic because I'm sincerely reaching out. I think my family watches this. I don't even know if they do. But if they do, I just want you to realize Uncle Ryan has been nothing but love, parties, dress up, makeovers, photo shoots, gifts, and magic in your life. I want you to think, what kind of influence has my Uncle Ryan actually been in my life? What has he brought to my life? And then decide if it's worth cutting me off and not even texting me or worrying about me when I'm fired from my job from Delta. It hurts. It hurts. So, Cherie, be strong. Pulling for you. Always support you. Shelly, I will adopt you. Yeah, that is the bright side. I have found a patriot community that is more supportive than my own family. And of course, I lost the whole LGBT community When I was a drag queen, I was a professional Britney Spears impersonator and a Rapunzel impersonator, and it was super fun. And I love those people. I specifically recall one of those friends being in my kitchen as I helped her through her suicidal tendencies and talked her out of it. But that person, as well as all the LGBT people, cut me off and said, "You're a white supremacist, you're a Nazi." So I get the hatred from all ends, and I'm kind of sick of it. So I'm here to vent and stick up for myself a little bit. And I got lost on a tangent. Shelly, thank you. So I'm coming up on 2 years of Lady Maga USA. And to those of you who do donate like $5 or $10 a month to Lady Maga USA, I truly appreciate it. And I will never be ungrateful for whatever audience I have, for whatever followers I have. I love you guys. I honor you. I cherish you. And I'm so grateful that you're here with me right now watching this video. That means you support me. But the reality is, I was kicked off Instagram with 15,000 followers. I'm shadow banned on Facebook and Twitter. But the weird thing is, Lady Maga is totally famous. And I'm not saying that to brag, it's just a reality. Like, there have been millions of views across viral videos on, YouTube, debating Nick Fuentes, and USA Today did an article, and Dinesh Souza interviewed me. So I know that Lady Maga is famous, and I'm infamous. Probably more infamous than famous, but what do I have to show for it? I manage my own social media. I don't know how to use MailChimp to send out like a mass newsletter every month. I don't know how to monetize my podcast. I don't know how to create merchandise. And so you get the idea, like, to professionalize this and monetize this and be a professional influencer is very difficult. So I just come to the conclusion that I can't even respond to all of my messages on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, so I need help. I need someone who can sit down with me and say, "Look, you got Lady Maga USA. She is famous. You have made an impact. Here's how we go forward." Like an agent or a publicist or something, because trying to do it all on my own has become a task that's greater than I can achieve, because I am in training for a new job. And I'm never going to talk about that job because people will try to get me canceled, just like they did at Delta. But the new job is not going to be lucrative the way Delta was, and it's a struggle, but it's something I want to do. So anyway, if you know anybody, anybody who could help me and sit down with me and say, "Look, your podcast is amazing. Your videos are super fun. Your social media is not reaching the audience you need to reach. Here is who you need to talk to. Here is what you got to do." I think of people like Joy Villa, who I love. I love her. She quoted me in the intro to her book, and she came on my podcast. But people like her, I don't know how they manage such a level of, notoriety and fame, and I don't know how to manage it as Lady Maga USA. So if you know anybody out there who could help me sit down and say, "This is how you get your message out," in spite of being kicked off of Instagram, in spite of being shadow banned on your social media, let me know. admin@ladymagausa.com. So here's my other big question right now. Before I talk about this, I want to talk about my place in the conservative movement as a Sarah America. I love your name. Before I talk about my place as a drag artist in the conservative movement, I have to talk a little bit about the wolves in the conservative movement. Unfortunately, the inner circle of influencers and public figures in the conservative movement is just as toxic and predatory as on the left, or Instagram, or, like the beauty makeover community, whatever. When I first started, I was contacted by a big conservative influencer. I will never, ever publicly slander anyone because that is trashy and that's counterproductive. But this person asked me to pay them $1,000 to retweet me, and this person said, I will help you, everything will be great. Well, they didn't do anything. So I've just realized that so many influencers and so many public conservatives are not sincerely in the movement to advance the Constitution, First Amendment, Second Amendment. So I just want to get that out there, that when I was kicked off of Instagram, none of the big influencers cared, including that person who asked me to pay them $1,000 on my credit card to help me, but they didn't help me. So sorry, I had to turn off my air conditioning because there's a little buzz in the background. So I just want to point out that in this movement, there's the term grifters. Do you guys know grifters? That is someone who joins the movement to make money. And if I was a grifter, after 2 years, I think I would have made $1 or $2. I get some donations through my website. It's great, but that doesn't even begin to cover the cost of everything I've spent on Lady Maga, from Airbnbs to Ubers to gas, filling my gas tank, going to southern Utah, going to New Mexico. So anyway, I just want you guys to know, to be very aware that in the conservative movement, there are lots of grifters, and they're in it to get fame and money. And of course I love attention. Of course I love, lots of people seeing my content, but I'm not in this for fame, and I'm not in this for money. I'm in this because I love my country, and it is crumbling before our eyes. So that's that. Okay. So, by the way, when it comes to conservatives who step forward and put out a podcast or put out videos or whatever, sorry, my hair's in my eye. I am damn good at what I do. Anybody who listens to my podcast sees that I am prepared, I am articulate, and I give a killer podcast every week. Anybody even watching this Facebook Live, you see that I am intelligent, articulate, educated. I have a degree in journalism. So I just feel a little bit like overlooked because I work hard. I work hard every day for Lady Maga USA. And just creating a podcast every week is more work than you know. And just editing one video for social media can take up to 11 hours. I have a Britney Spears parody that's coming out soon. And I've already spent 12 hours editing that 1 minute parody. So I don't think people realize how much work goes into what I do. And I'm damn good at what I do, so I feel a little underappreciated. Do you remember that Christina Aguilera song, I'm feeling underappreciated? Love Christina. Also, I wake up every day and I'm by myself. And I choose to be single. I choose not to go on dates and hook up with people. So that's my own fault. But at the same time, when you are a one-man show and you do everything on your own, it becomes taxing. It becomes exhausting because you don't have a spouse or whoever to like shoot the breeze, relieve the stress. So I just want you to know that Lady Maga USA, I put out my videos, I put out my pictures, I go to events, I do my podcast and all of that. But behind the scenes is one man by himself doing everything. No publicist. I had a publicist who helped me once or twice, but no publicist, no agent, no editors, nobody to respond to all my messages on Twitter and Facebook. And that's one of my greatest anxieties is I know I have hundreds, thousands of messages, but I don't have the time to actually sit down and respond to all of them. So that gives me anxiety. Anybody who's still watching this, number one, thank you for watching this. I think part of my problem is ingratitude because I focus too much on losing Instagram with 15,000 followers and being shadow banned on Twitter and having my YouTube videos removed and all of that. But I feel like if you focus on what you don't have and you focus on what you have lost, then you're sabotaging yourself, because what you think about, you bring about. So I would like to just give immense gratitude to anyone out there who is watching this video right now. And I would like to ask a favor. Would you please comment, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and tell me why you follow me, because now I need to talk about my place in this movement. I don't know if you guys have heard of Bryson Gray. He's a rapper. He's pro-Trump. His music is great. But people like him and Milo Yiannopoulos say that I don't have a place in this movement because I love to dress up as a drag queen. I prefer the term drag artist because drag queen culture has been taken over by the left. So do I have a place in this movement? Do I have to present myself as a cookie cutter, tie-wearing, Fox News-worthy person? Or is it okay that I love to dress up? Is it okay that I love to wear a wig? Is it okay that I just embrace my creativity? And you guys, this is where I'll get angry. This is where I have a bone to pick with my detractors on the right. I am an artist. I love to dress up. It is the equivalent of Halloween. I love makeup. I love hair. I love costumes. I love choreography. And that is why I am a drag artist, because it brings me joy. And quite frankly, it saved me from a suicidal time in my life where I just needed to express myself and find an outlet for my creativity that brought me joy. So I know that bigger media outlets would have probably spoken to me if I just came out as a regular old, tie-wearing, straight-acting gay guy, because that fits the narrative. But I refuse, because I love my artistry. I love dressing up. I love drag. I think it's super fun. And I don't have a political agenda behind it, and I certainly don't have a sexual agenda behind it. But my detractors on the right, like Bryson Gray or Milo Yiannopoulos or Nick Fuentes or these people, they refuse to see past the fact that I am theatrical and I love to dress up. And they refuse to grant themselves access to the patriot and the conservative who is behind the artistry. So, kind of gets to me, I'm not going to lie. This past week, one of the reasons I'm sort of taking a break from politics, my goal is 5 minutes or less a day on social media. I right now I cannot scroll, I cannot comment. I just got to put out uplifting good content and then take it from there. So I'm sort of on a break as I figure out how to handle my 2-year anniversary, because I'm really questioning, what do I have to show for this? What have I accomplished? And it's a hard question to answer. So if you guys can tell me why you follow me or why you think my voice is important in this movement, I could use the moral boost. Totally. Okay. So I think that is pretty much what I needed to say today. I cannot go forward with Lady Maga USA unless I have professional help. And so when I think of karma and I think of potentially winning money from being fired from an unnamed source, you know what I'm saying, then I hope that I would have the funds to actually pay someone to help Lady Maga not be a one-man operation by myself trying to do all of this. Because MailChimp is an email service that sends out big emails to a lot of people. Just mastering that system, entering all the emails, all of that stuff would take me days. And of course, I gotta work, I gotta scrub toilets, I gotta do my training for my new job. And I don't have the time to do that. So I need professional help. So I'm just kind of giving myself a break and saying, you are a one-man show. You don't have help. And since it's only you, you got to balance politics with going on the river in my kayak, or watching Downton Abbey, or hanging out with family. It's truly a difficult balance. And I know that people who arrive to the level of fame that I have usually get professional help to help them manage their social media, podcast, publicity, interviews, and all of that, so that they can still have a life on the side. Because I cannot, like you guys, if I'm honest, I could spend 8 hours a day just editing all of the footage that I have over the last 2 years. I have incredible interviews with patriots at Trump rallies. I have our events here in Utah. I have parodies. I have so much. And it's like, okay, I can sit down and spend 12 hours editing that video, or I can try and respond to my messages on Facebook and Twitter, or the emails. See how it gets overwhelming? So anyway, if you guys want to support what I do, you can go to my website, ladymagausa.com. You can sign up for $5 or $10 a month or whatever, or $1 a month through the PayPal subscribe thing on my website. And that will enable me to hopefully be able to hire and pay someone to help me take this to the level that I deserve at this point. Because I'm going to brag right now. There's a lot of influencers out there. There are a lot of people out there who do quite a lot of public, very lucrative, very awesome things. But if we sat down and made a list of the things we have done, if we sat down and made a list of the places Lady Maga has gone, of the videos Lady Maga has made, of the rallies that Lady Maga has supported, of the legislation for which Lady Maga testified at the U.S. Capitol, I would say 90% of the influencers out there right now have never, ever gone to a local meeting. I would say they have never, ever gone to their state capitol to testify for bills to protect women's sports and innocent children from transgender procedures. I know they haven't, because they're on social media, they're in their phone, they're on TikTok. And my question is, have you taken concrete steps to get involved in your state and actually do concrete things, like my podcast? I interviewed the director of Pro-Life Utah. I interviewed a beautiful woman who decided not to have an abortion, even though she had cerebral palsy. I interviewed a border police officer who worked on the border of our country and Mexico. So yes, I love to dress up. Yes, I love a wig. Yes, queen, I love makeup and dressing up. But if anyone actually sat down and did their homework and enumerated all of the things that I have done over the past 2 years, they would realize that this is a patriot who deserves a larger voice. This is a patriot who deserves to take their message to the next level. But like I said, there are wolves in the movement, and if somebody like me comes up, people don't want that to go forward. And of course, the leftists try to get me canceled. It's the leftist LGBTQIA community who got me fired from Delta Airlines. And I would love to just say, screw Delta, whatever, but I won't. I fully admit that losing my job as a flight attendant has been one of the greatest losses of my life. I gave 8 years of my heart, 8 years of my smile, 8 years of my charisma and kindness to that company, and to be cut off like this is a major loss. It almost feels like a death. I had hip surgery because I was a runner for many, many years, and I had hip surgery and they said you can't run anymore. That's why I rollerblade and kayak and dance. But that was a huge loss. I went into a severe depression because of that. And losing my mother clearly was devastating. And losing Delta is right up there. So my detractors are going to say, you're a whiner, you're playing the victim. No, I'm not. I'm just being honest. And to you, watching this right now, if you believe in what I do and you appreciate what I do and you follow me, and especially if you found me on Facebook after getting kicked off of Twitter with 15,000 followers, I just want you to know I love you and pray for me and share my content and whatever you can do to help me get the message out. So, Yvonne, Becky, Bryce, Shelly, I love you guys. And I'm going to end this video, and I'm not going to lie. I'm going to crawl in bed and watch Downton Abbey for a few hours. And then I'll get up and do something productive, study for my new job, or, you know, get on my computer and edit one of my Lady Maga videos that's coming out. I'm hoping to do a 1-hour documentary about the experience of being Lady Maga USA over the past 2 years. But without exaggeration, that documentary will take me collectively over 72 hours of work to edit. And since I'm doing it for free and I'm not a professional monetized influencer, taking the time to do that is difficult, if that makes sense. So anyway, you guys, La vida es bella, Lynette, Benjamin. I have a quick question. I've noticed a lot of people in the comments, it says you're watching, and then like 10 comments later, it says you're watching again. Does that mean you're getting kicked off of my live? I don't know. I'm always paranoid. By the way, LadyMagaUSA.com is the only solid place that I have right now without a threat of being kicked off. They could kick me off of my website, but that's unlikely. But if you're watching this after seeing the link on Twitter, or you're watching this on YouTube, or you're watching this on Facebook, just know that I could be kicked off at any moment. So if you find that, oh my gosh, where's Lady Maga USA? Just please go to my website. And I'm doing my best to make that website kind of a one-stop shop for content and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, you guys, God bless you. I just want to say a little prayer. Dear Lord, dear God, dear universe, my mom in heaven, please give me the motivation to continue. I know I have determination, but I also need motivation. And that's the thing, guys. Like, part of me just says, screw it all. I'm done. I'm just going to get a job as a waiter and live my life. But I have determination within that is impossible for me to kill. That's why I'm up and I'm dressed, and I did a podcast interview with this amazing black man in Atlanta. And I want to just say, forget it, but I can't. There is something deep within my heart and soul that loves my flag, that loves my Constitution, that loves my fellow Americans, and I just refuse to give up. So anyway, if you are someone who has made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to know we are connected, even though it's digital and it's impersonal. I appreciate you more than you know. So on that note, Becky says, I wish I could meet you and talk in person about so many important things that could help both of us. Yes, Becky, I wish I could meet you in person too, because my loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. Oh my gosh, you guys, literally, those are my lyrics. My loneliness is killing me, true, but I must confess, I still believe. There you go. Let me pull out some of my Britney stuff. So I have this huge collection of all my Britney Spears stuff because I was like a nut. I even have her shampoo ads from Teen People. So I think it is perfectly appropriate for me to end on that note. My loneliness is killing me, but I must confess, I still believe. And last but not least, to any of my haters out there who are going to use clips from this video to mock me or make me look stupid or whatever you're going to do, or say I'm playing the victim. You don't know me. You have never worked as hard as I have for something you believe in, and you lazily draw conclusions based off of random clips online or random tweets. You do not know me. Anybody who wishes to thoroughly judge me, to be honest with you, you need to sit through podcast episode 1 all the way up through episode 39 that comes out tomorrow, and then you can judge me. End of story. So, I love you guys. Phasia, Monahan, sing it, Ryan. You know I will. Becky, Yvonne, Shelley, Ernest. I love you guys. And to all of you on Twitter and all of you on YouTube, I appreciate that you follow me. And I just ask that you help me manifest professional help to take Lady Maga to the level she deserves. I use that as a joke because the character that I play is female, but I am clearly a biological man. So, haters gonna haters. Ignore the ignorance, Ryan. It's so much easier said than done. It is so much easier said than done. I don't like Madonna, but one time she said that you can do a performance and one person will say it was terrible, and for some reason you focus on that one person. And I find myself doing that. So it's all about just releasing that and focusing on you guys. And Laura Lee, Melinda Sue, this is the patriot I was telling you about. Well, Melinda Sue, I am grateful that you found me. And I love you guys. And I will keep rambling. Don't get me started on Free Britney. Hashtag Free Britney. But I love you guys with all my heart. And I'm grateful that you watched this video. And if you feel like this is something people need to hear, please share it. Okay? I love you guys.